I'm going to share my experience on board the MSC Meraviglia cruise ship. Let's take a look at the embarkation experience. The cruise terminal in Brooklyn was chaotic, super crowded. If you are looking for a relaxing start, this is not the way to do it. I'll share some of the good things about being on board, but I'll also share some of the bad, like this burger from the buffet. Take a look at that. But there's also plenty of good about what's on board, particularly the design of the ship. Not so much how many people are crammed on board, but the design itself is beautiful. It's a magnificent ship. I boarded in New York City, right in the Brooklyn cruise terminal, so getting there was easy. Let's take a look at the public areas of the ship. This is the theater. As you can see, clean lines and modern. That's the rule of the day. But the real showstopper on board the Meraviglia is their grand atrium. The atrium is the central focus of the ship, and it has an LED ceiling that spans the entire length. It really is remarkable to see this on board an actual cruise ship. In fact, when you're here, you'll forget you're on a cruise ship at all. Let's keep walking through some of the public areas of the ship. This is one of the bars that's on board. There are dozens of bars and tons of places to sit down. Again, the design is sleek, minimalist, and modern. When you look around, you will see that throughout the entire theming of the vessel. One thing you will notice throughout the ship is the extensive use of reflective surfaces and mirrors. This again tends to lighten things up as you're walking around, and it's pretty dynamic. Now, one of the things that many people take cruises for is to enjoy the casino. Let's get into the Casino Imperial, MSC's casino on board this ship. The casino gets really crowded at nighttime. I'm here during the day when the casino is closed. That was the only time I was able to get in here so I could share the view. An interesting thing about the Meraviglia's casino is it's separated over two separate areas of the ship. There's the main area that contains quite a few slot machines and table games, but then there's something that seems like an annex in another part of the cruise ship. It's a little interesting in terms of how they chose to design that. My sense is that the annex used to be another bar, but they repurposed it into a casino in order to generate additional revenue. Okay, one of the things that I don't really care about for casinos is when it's smoky. This casino was a particularly smoky casino. I found that a little bit irritating, but there was one area that they had cordoned off that was non-smoking, which was a little bit more enjoyable. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about visiting the casino here. Okay, one of the most popular places to dine was the Benihana-style teppanyaki restaurant. This slung Japanese-style cuisine. Be careful though, it was quite expensive for the offerings. Back in the stern, there was an entertainment venue that featured Cirque du Soleil-styled shows for a premium. I skipped it because I didn't feel like paying. Okay, now for some bad news. The buffet seemed wildly understaffed. There was piles of plates that were accumulating all over. It was almost annoying to have to bus your own tables in the buffet. The good thing about the pool area was it was massive. However, the bad thing about the pool area was it was impossible to get a seat unless you woke up and saved a seat at about 6 o'clock in the morning. Good luck trying to reserve a seat at the main pool deck. It was a cattle call. Same story in the rear of the boat. There were fights almost every day about people arguing about their seats. That was not a fun part of this vacation. Shopping. The MSC Meraviglia had plenty of shopping options. Considering we were a captive audience, the prices were reasonable, so you'll find it easy to pass some time strolling amongst the corridors. Sports and activities. This ship was top-notch. There were activities for nearly every age group and activity range. Video games, bowling, basketball, pickleball, you name it, and they had it. If you're an active type, this might not be a bad ship to consider. Alright, reflecting back on food. For just about everything MSC did good, they also did something that was not so good. For example, here was a jumbo shrimp. I don't think anyone at our table classified that as jumbo shrimp. In fact, we had a really good laugh about it. The dining product on MSC clearly needs work. This madhouse was the breakfast buffet. You will be rubbing elbows with people constantly. It is an absolute nightmare to navigate the breakfast corridor. Actually, any corridor during the day. It was chaos. It was a really bizarre design choice to make the main thoroughfare around the buffet no more than about 7 feet wide, with thousands of people making their way through that corridor every single day. The quality of the food itself at the buffet also left something to be desired. I'm going to get up close to the scrambled egg platter at the buffet, and you could be the judge and let me know what you think about these scrambled eggs. Let's get up in close to them. I'm building it up a little bit because I've never seen eggs that looked just about this repulsive in my entire life. There you have it. What do you think? Yikes. Remember, the plates would constantly be piling up at the buffet. There were clearly not enough attendants clearing these plates for this many passengers. It became almost a hygiene issue. I mean, seriously? I have to again share one of the saddest pieces of food that was served at the buffet, the burgers. They were individually wrapped and sat there for seemingly so long that the buns would end up becoming these shriveled raisins. Let's take a look at the staterooms. This is a twin stateroom. It's an inside room, so of course I expected it to be small, but this one is airy, spacious, and of course it's really clean. There is one thing that's a little bit interesting in terms of the design choice. There's really no drawers in the entire room. You're kind of restricted to those two small drawers at the bottom and then the hangers. For me, it worked. I was able to do it. It wasn't really cumbersome. If you had more than two people in this room, I could see it being a challenge. So if you're going to go with an inside room, I really strongly suggest you consider only getting for two people. If you have more than that, it's going to be a struggle. Some other miscellaneous things. This was the nacho plate for dinner. It was 4 chips. I thought that was funny. There is a major flaw in the elevator bank design. The tiles that were chosen to floor the elevator banks are incredibly slippery. Somehow they get condensation that really slicks things up. I said it before, lines are everywhere. Look at that ice cream line. So I hope I shared some of the good and the bad about the MSC Meraviglia. Let me know what you thought about it below, and drop a like if you enjoyed the tour.